Welcome to Real Talk, where we dive into the raw, engaging, authentic, and lived experiences that inspire and inform. I'm Michelle Badusky, your host, and I believe that the hardest conversations to have are the ones we need the most. This is a safe space for real talk that challenges perspectives, sparks growth, and pushes boundaries. No filters, no fluff, just real talk. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Hey everyone, it is Michelle Badusky on Real Talk. Thanks for joining us. Today I'm joined by Ray Berthelette, who is the NDP candidate running in the Sprucewoods by-election. Now, if you're not from this area, you might not know where Sprucewoods is. That's okay. Half the people in the area don't know where Sprucewoods is. It's a huge provincial riding in Manitoba that not only incorporates both the north and south ends of Brandon, but most of the rural communities around it, including my town of Rivers, Wawanesa, Souris, Sprucewoods, Oak Lake, you name it. So, Ray,
Holland.
welcome.
Thank you.
Did you
Pleasure
say
to be
Wawanesa?
here. Holland is what I said. We go as far as Holland, yes.
Yeah, Holland. So it's a huge area. How have you been doing? Like this by-election, you don't have as much time as a regular election to get out there, knock on doors.
I have a great group of volunteers. Our team is pounding on the doors relentlessly, so which is great for us. But one of my goals coming into this was because I'm a Brandon person, lived most of my life in Brandon, and recently moved to the North Hill in October, which is part of the Sprucewoods constituency. I'm making a point of going out and meeting mayors, reeves, councillors. So far, we've been in 5 regions talking to 5 different councils and mayors about their issues specific to their areas. I got 5 more to go because I guess there's 10 RMs in Sprucewoods. So I still got a bit of a challenge before the election date. I'm in Glenboro tomorrow morning and Cornwallis today at 5 o'clock.
It's huge. And you know what? I personally know how hard that is because I ran for Sprucewoods for the position of MLA in the 2023 election, the seat that you're now hoping to fill. I didn't win it. I was running as a Manitoba Liberal, but this is the first time that a party other than the Progressive Conservatives actually has a chance to flip this area because Sprucewoods has always been a conservative riding. So what are you hearing at the doors and from the mayors and councils when you're talking to the people of Sprucewoods? What are you hearing about that?
I heard a lot of good stuff. They are so impressed with our government, the Premier, and also Minister Simard, who's the Minister of Northern Affairs and Rural Affairs. And they are happy that people are being attentive. Some money's coming into the area for major infrastructure projects. They are getting out, making announcements, spending their taxpayers' money in Sprucewoods, and a lot of the people are liking that. We're knocking on doors, and I was in Glenboro talking to a 38-year-old resident, and he says, I've never seen anybody for 38 years. This last few months, we hear about you. You're at my door. And look, there's work getting done. The hospital in Glenboro expansion. They now have upcoming 4 more nurses coming. They got 2 finishing their the courses to be LPNs and 2 other nurses, one who may be an RN by the time they get here, as well as 2 doctors. So healthcare is improving because it's not only happening in Glenboro, it's happening in other areas in our region as well.
Well, and you know what, as someone who lives in rural Manitoba, that's always been my main concern. It was one of the reasons why I ran in the 2023 election was to raise awareness of these issues because this area has been traditionally conservative. And even when the Conservatives had a 7-year majority government and we had sitting Conservative MLAs in Sprucewoods, we didn't see as much activity as we have in the last couple of years. And it's been incredible to watch. And I think the NDP has been doing a lot and really focusing. You know, Wab was out in Brandon and he's been in Rivers and he's been in Shiloh and Sprucewoods. And I think that's incredible. But I think what I want to know, and I've met you before, I know you, some of the personal work you've done, but I think that's what we need here in Sprucewoods is someone who is grassroots, that, you know, is just a guy, not a career politician, but just a guy who wants to make a difference. So what do you want voters to know about you? Because you do live in the riding. You live on the North Hill of Brandon, which is in Sprucewoods. You're connecting with rural communities, people, council and things like that. But tell us a little bit about who are you, Ray? Like if we were sitting down and having a cocktail at 5 o'clock on the patio, who are you? And why should I have a cocktail with you?
I am someone who takes care to make sure people are listened to. My 2 years working for Minister Smart as his executive assistant in Brandon for Brandon East and Brandon proper is the word. We've seen 800 people in the first year. They came to our office, sat down, had a coffee. Some seen the minister, everyone seen me, and we. Some of them just wanted to shake hands. Some of them had questions, concerns. Some of them had serious problems, which we either forwarded to the MP at that time, Larry McGuire, or we forward them to the different departments. As a result of my work with Glenn, I have built a good resume with DOMAS, which is the next level of political staff in Winnipeg. So if I have a question, I can call them and they'll call me back, or we'll talk on the phone right away. And then I can get an understanding of what's happening. Now, that should transfer very well into the next MLA because I've already got all the connections. I'm virtually at the table as it is, but I'm not an MLA. So when I become MLA, then I will be at the table with experience. Now, I've done lots of things in my life. One of the most things I'm the most proud is the overnight drop-in center that is run by the Brander Friendship Center and Life's Journey. The first year we were in government, they didn't have a place for it. All of a sudden, they were going to have to move in trailers. And I said, no, that can't work. So I knocked on the door of some of my friends, and they graciously accepted to use their property and area to do the overnight drop-in. So that to me is one of my pet peeves. I watch them very carefully to make sure it's happening. And this is mostly a winter project, but I don't want to see anybody dying at 30 below because they froze. That would be horrific.
Well, I can feel that, like when we've talked before and even now, I can actually see the passion on your face for helping people that need it most. And I think that's one of the things that we've been missing in politics and government in this area is people who care, that really care at that grassroots level about helping people.
My second favorite is food rescue with the John Howard Society.
That's such a great program.
Yes, it is, and it's one of our affordability projects. And you know what? They're starting it by themselves and built it by themselves. And we had a tour, me and the minister, Smart, and they asked a couple of questions. They were looking for help to get more protein. Well, in my former career, I was a union rep at Maple Leaf. So I made a couple of calls to Maple Leaf and introduced Ted Dozen, who's the chair of John Howard Society, to Maple Leaf, and they connected. And of course, it had to go to Ontario to connect them. But bottom line is that was the first big protein supplier that they have, and they continue to have. From there, it went to Nipwa to High Life, and connections with High Life allowed them to bring in what they do for their hamburgers and cold meat products, and the third part of that for me is that I introduced them to the buffalo meat that they're selling right now. And so I've been working a bit with them. They do the most of the work. I just have connections, and that's
how you get things done, right? Yeah. That's a big part of leadership, isn't doing it yourself. It's about finding the people that can do it and connecting them and making it making it happen. And we've been missing that in this area for a really long time, is actually seeing initiatives like that move forward. What's your like this? I'm not gonna lie. I know what you're going through. I know that it's hard running in this area if you're not conservative. So how's it been going? Like, how are you feeling? Like, what's been happening out on the streets and with the people that you're talking to, especially outside of the city?
Remarkably, it's going very well. I
I'm jealous. I'm jealous because I did not have that experience.
I I I do know a lot of people, as I previously said. So, there a way of campaigning is uh, you do the grassroots things, go to the areas you know people, and then build upon those areas. And we've successfully done that. Today, I got another 4 marks and 2 cash donations from people who are conservatives, but they know me, they know my values, and they are supporting me because they like what I say and what I do.
Well, you know
Uh,
what? And
and,
I think that's one of the most amazing things that, and why I invited you to talk to me today, is I don't think I've ever seen a candidate for any party get such vocal and public support across party lines. Because I was there, and everyone knows that I ran as a Manitoba Liberal candidate, and I was at your fundraiser, and I've donated and volunteered for your campaign. But beyond me, and the reason I'm doing it, and I'll be very honest, is number one, I like you. You get things done. You're involved at the grassroots level. You're out there. You're talking to people, and we need that. We absolutely need that. The second reason is because I love what your party is doing. So I like you. If I didn't like you, I wouldn't vote for you. But I like you and what you've been doing. Your party's been doing great things for our area in rural Manitoba and fulfilling campaign promises, which in 2023, I didn't think they could do. I was proven wrong. I like it. And the third reason is that I know that traditionally this area has been conservative. And right now is the first time I've ever seen a lot of hope to flip it. I really do see that momentum, and I'm excited for it, and I can't wait to see that happen. So those are my reasons. But I've seen a lot of conservatives at your functions and online and supporting you publicly, and that is incredible. That speaks to the volume of person you are, like personally, like who you are as a human being, when people will cross party lines for that. And that's what we need in politics, is people voting for the best local candidate regardless of party.
and I can honestly say, when people are talking to me in my professional role as executive assistant to Minister Simard, I'm not asking them if they're conservative, liberal, or if they used to who they support in India, or any of those questions. They're coming to me as individuals, people who need help, and that is what my mantra is. That is what I do. I try to help people the best. If I can't help them, I try to find somebody who can, somebody else who can help them. Overall, I would have to say that we've been pretty successful, and that's what I'm finding on the doors. I'm not telling anybody that the NDP party is the greatest party since Second Coming of Christ, even though I do believe it is. Um, I'm saying to them, what can I do for you? How can I help you in the town of Surrey? How can I help you in Oak Lake? How can I help you in Glenborough? And people are responding to that. And it's funny, at that fundraising event we didn't just have people from Brandon. We had groups come from Dauphin. Portage La Prairie had a couple of groups there, and we had them from all of the Sprucewoods, plus the other areas that cover southwestern Manitoba. So it was an open invitation to whoever wanted to come, and we were happy to see that we had maybe 200 people there, and the message got out.
It really did. And I think that's what really attracts me to your campaign, to you personally, that it is about helping us and doing what's right for our communities and our families, regardless of who we vote for. Because there's been a lot of times in the past that I felt that, parties and elected officials are really only there to help themselves and the people that support them. And we see a lot of that stuff going on down south of the border with Trump. And I walked into that event as a very public former MLA candidate and a former liberal, and I was welcomed with open arms and really, felt like I was listened to and that my opinion had value. Even though that I have actually spoken, out against some of the NDP policies in the past. So it was really great to see, and really, really comforting to know that everyone is welcome.
Said well. Thank you. Everyone
Awesome.
is welcome.
There you go. Let's put it on a sign. So thank you so much for joining me today. I know you're super busy. I really do. I can't even imagine. I had, 6-7 months to campaign during the 2023 election. And I knew what I was getting into as a liberal in rural Manitoba. And I am very honored and very proud to say that in this by-election in Sprucewoods that I'm supporting you and your party. So for the first time in my life, I am voting NDP. And I haven't got hit by lightning yet just for saying that, because I believe that you are going to do a really great job for my family. And my family lives here in Sprucewoods, and that's who I'm loyal to.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, Ray, you get back on those doors and we'll talk to you soon. And everybody else, thanks for listening. If you have any questions, throw them in the comments. And if I don't know the answer, kind of like Ray, I'll find someone who does. That's it for this episode of Real Talk, where we tackled the hardest conversations because they're the ones we need the most. I can't wait to hear your thoughts and opinions. Let's keep the conversation going. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Blue Sky, or connect with me on LinkedIn. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Until next time, stay real, stay engaged, and keep living your authentic truth.